Okay, I'm going to do round 2. Just going to take this and do 1, 2, 3 lines. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. And I'm going to do 1, 2. Okay, so now I have 4 columns and 3 rows. I did that just in my Sharpie. Again, I'm going to demonstrate the pencil part because this is really important. I'm going to think about 2 letters, your first name and your last name. I'm just going to do a letter T, and I don't want my T to follow this. That's going to be too confusing, so I'm going to have that line like that. A T, and coincidentally, an H, just in case there's somebody out there with the initials T and H. Now, it's hard to see my pencil lines, but they're there. I don't want them too dark anyway because I'm going to erase those. Now I'm going to do this lettering thing that we do, we practice. I'm going to go around my letters, take my time and make a bubble letter T. And I'm going to go around that line for my H. And I have a bubble letter H. So I have TH. I'm sure someone in the class has those initials. I don't know who it could possibly be. Or not. But somewhere in the world, there's someone with the initials TH. So I'm erasing that line. Now that's gone. Now the idea here again, let's see, there's my little cheat sheet, is to think about a checkerboard. Checkerboards are opposite. White, black, white, black. When I go this way, white, black, white, black, white, black. Okay, they don't touch. I've got diagonals running along. I never have 2 black squares next to each other or 2 white squares next to each other, only diagonal. So the first thing I'm going to do is ignore the letters. These will stay empty. Do not color in the letters. Okay, being very specific here. Do not color in your letters. I'm going to pick a bright color that I have here that I don't use too much. And I'm going to think about this checkerboard pattern. I'm going to go white. And then instead of black, I'm going to substitute this really, I thought it was going to be a nice dark red. Let's see if I use this side. This nice crimson. Okay. So I've got, I'm going to put this here, make sure I can show this. White and then the dark color. Don't forget little pockets like this too, because it's the whole background. Okay, now the next box is white. The last one is the color. So instead of black, I'm doing my color. Can you hear my dog barking outside? There's always one of those critters barking outside. He's got a loud bark. I have a feeling you can hear that. Okay, so you're seeing why I don't like markers. They get kind of streaky. Okay, I'm going to definitely make sure that these are nice, neat edges, but I'm doing this a little quick so you can see my examples. So I've got white, black, white, black, white, red, white, red. Now the next one here goes white. There's my next box right here. So this one will be colored in. Again, I would do this much more neatly, but I'm trying to make sure that you can see the directions. So I'm going to color that box in. Okay, the next one is white, so I leave this white. The next one is black, but I'm leaving the letters open. Oops, except for that little smudge there. I am not coloring in inside of the bubble letters. Leaving those alone for now. Okay, so there's my white, red, white, red, red, white, red, white. I'm going to move down here. This first one's white, so this next one is red. And see, the reds never touch. I'm just cleaning that one up so you can really see the corners. Now we've got the neighbor's dog barking. I'm going to work on this for the summer. Production value. Cleaning up my edges. Okay, so there's my little cheat sheet. White, black, white, red, white. Okay, red. This one's red. And again, I'm leaving the letter blank. Again, this marker is not very nice and neat, but there we go. So I have my background now. I have my checkerboard pattern, but I've left my letters open, and this is what I have to do now. The letters, the squares that have the letters in them are done. You don't have to do anything to this. This should be neat, but they're done. Now I'm going to look at the boxes that have the white background with a letter inside them. So I have a white box, the letter that extends in there, that gets colored. Okay? So see how they don't touch? Kind of flip-flops back and forth. It's positive, negative space. So I'm just looking at the white squares now. Here's a white square. The letter part that sticks into there extends into the white. That gets colored. Okay, so this one's done. This one's done. Here's a white square. Inside this white square, just the letter gets colored. I like to kind of go around the edges and then just slide that around. Oh my goodness. I really hope you can't hear how noisy those dogs are. I have a feeling you can ignore the dogs. Okay, so this row's done. This row, oh, this is done, this is done. There's a white background. The letter T inside that white square needs to get colored. Getting kind of a striped effect. Okay, this one's done, this one's done. Here's a white square. Just this shape inside the square gets colored. So now I have a red and white checkerboard. Okay, just like this was a black and white checkerboard here, but I have the letters in there. Now you can take a second color and you can color this in. I'm a fan of opposites on the color wheel. I have a lot of green. Let's see if I can find a green. So anything now that's white, I could color another color. And I could just go right through and color all the white shapes green because I've done this correctly. Again, when you make your checkerboard and you draw your letters, it's always good to have me or whatever adult is in the room just check and make sure that you have it correct before you do too many of your colors, before you get too far. And a true checkerboard is just 2 colors, so you really only need 2 colors. So you can see all the white will be green in this one. Now it's a bonus on this project that if you follow directions and you use your initials, I should be able to tell who made these. But of course, you should always have your name on your paper. Now see if I have a nice marker with a lot of ink in it. When I overlap my lines, I don't get as much of a stroke. This one, the red one, was clearly drying out. But if I do it kind of quick and I just overlap each time, I don't get quite as bad of a streaky effect there. It's kind of nice. I do have quite a marker collection at home. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm going to fill in all the white areas. I'm going to end up with a kind of a cherry red and a nice green, pine green kind of a color checkerboard here. And that way you see the checkerboard and you see the initials. And again, for practicing the initials, my friends, start with, if you have a letter, even with a negative space, start with the line drawing just like you would write. I know you all know how to write your names. All able to write your name, then we're going to just turn that line shape into the line into a shape. So just go right around those letters. Don't forget your negative space if you need it. Okay? All right. I can't wait to see how these turn out.